This war isn't fought with guns, it's fought with money, and it's already changing your life. For more than a century, the relationship between the United States and China has been shaped by ambition, fear, trade, and power. What we see today as a trade war did not begin with tariffs or headlines. Its roots stretch deep into history. In the early 1900s, the United States saw China as a distant land rich in labor, vast in resources, but weak in power. American companies entered Chinese markets, believing the future belonged to the West. China, at the same time, was struggling, colonized, divided, and humiliated by foreign influence. Everything changed in 1949. When the Communist Party took control of China, America saw it not just as a political shift, but as a threat. The Cold War divided the world, and China stood on the opposite side of American ideals. Trade collapsed. Trust disappeared. For decades, the two nations barely spoke. Then came the 1970s. In a surprising turn of history, America reopened relations with China. The goal was simple: trade instead of conflict. Factories moved, businesses expanded, cheap labor fueled American profits. China began exporting to the world, and America became its biggest customer. At first, it felt like a win-win. American consumers enjoyed lower prices. Corporations made record profits. China lifted millions out of poverty. But beneath the surface, something dangerous was growing. China was learning fast. By the 2000s, China was no longer just a factory for the West. It was becoming a competitor. American industries began disappearing. Manufacturing towns fell silent. Jobs vanished. And slowly, a question echoed across the United States. Did we help build our own rival? The trade imbalance grew massive. The US bought far more from China than it sold. Accusations followed: intellectual property theft, forced technology transfers, unfair subsidies. For years, tensions simmered quietly, until they exploded. In 2018, the trade war officially began. Tariffs were announced. China responded. Billions of dollars in goods were taxed. Markets shook. Farmers suffered. Companies panicked. What had once been a partnership turned into open economic warfare. But this was never just about money. This was about power. China was rising technologically, militarily, politically. America felt its dominance being challenged for the first time in decades. Artificial intelligence, 5G, semiconductors, these became new battlefields. And today, the conflict continues. Tariffs remain. Trust is fragile. Supply chains are being rewritten. America pushes for independence from Chinese manufacturing. China pushes for self-reliance. The world watches. Because this trade war is not just between two countries. It affects global prices, jobs, inflation, technology, even peace. History teaches us something important here. When rising powers challenge established ones, conflict follows, sometimes with weapons, sometimes with trade. The question now is not who will win. The question is, can the world afford another Cold War, this time fought with economies instead of armies? History is still being written. And one day, this chapter will be studied as the moment the balance of global power began to shift.